your American dream?
Being able for this country to be fully inclusive of everyone, of all races, gender, identity, and colors. I think that would be, what I would like to see, 50 years from now, when it's time for me to go. I would like for that American dream of mine to be, for this country to be fully inclusive of everyone.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It's Hump Day, Wednesday, March 2nd. Jill was counting me down in my ear. She's going 7, 6, 5, 4, and around 3 she goes, whoops. What?
It happens.
What was whoops?
It happens.
Oh, I'm dying to know what happened in the control room. That was whoops.
Just listen.
6, 5, 4, whoops!
As long as we don't smell fire, I think we all good.
If there is a fire, would it be age before beauty or every man for themselves?
Every man for themselves.
You would not let your elder statesman out of the building
I feel like
first.
everybody here is pretty healthy, pretty fast.
All right, now I know.
Imagine me carrying Brad out. Like, come on, Brad, your butt will be out of here before it even happens.
You're like, Brad, you're in the gym 4 days a week.
Right.
What is wrong?
You box.
Look.
I'm worried about me and being tired.
What do you think is 5, 4, 3, whoops?
We gonna find out. Hopefully it ain't nothing crazy. I don't know. What's up, squad?
5, 4, 3, whoops. New one for me. All right, Jessica Levy, squad up. How are you? Carol Anderson, squad up. Violet Blackwood, how are you? Squad up. Lisa Bling, calling Yo-Yo Dr. Yo-Yo, perhaps. Of course, it's Dr. Love today.
Dr. Love today,
it's
you already know.
I just realized why she's calling you Dr. Yo-Yo. I
Dr.
said
Love is in the
Jessica
house.
Levy. Valeria Shaw, squad up, it's Apple Pie. Squad up, how are you? Myrtle Ray, squad up. Dion Reed. Burrow Smith, squad up as well. On YouTube, Jessica Levy, double fisting Dembasau. Alicia Stone, squad up one and all. Kavar Harris.
Yeah.
Doing us one of these.
The fist.
Yeah. All right, Yo-Yo, take it away.
Absolutely. All right, squad, you already know what time it is. First things first, I need everybody who is watching right now that needs to have questions answered, put in their questions for the social media check-in right now. If you put it in the comments right now, pretty sure your questions are going to be answered. If you do it later on in the show, we cannot guarantee it because we get a lot of questions. So put in your questions right now. And also, please remember to share because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad, and he's going to fill us in on the latest headlines, including what immigration issues President Biden spoke about in his State of the Union address last night. And of course, today is Wednesday, so we're going to celebrate the middle of the week with some frisky news stories, like how even adult entertainers in Russia have faced economic hardship due to their country's invasion of Ukraine.
And of course, you can call Spar, and Bernstein, 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, it's +1 212 227 8933. Our number is scrolling. I'll do Jonathan's job today. Scrolling. There we are. Below our desk, the entire show. So if there's ever a question of how do I reach Spar and Bernstein, how do I reach Brad, there's the telephone number for almost 2 straight hours. I don't know if we'll be 2 hours today. You never know.
Right.
We never know.
We don't.
Shows just has a life of its own, each show.
Yes.
Right? And later in the show, Spar and Bernstein immigration attorney and partner Shannon LaGuerre Maingrette will explain why it's so important to tell the truth at your immigration interview. I'm going to tell you something, yo. Based on all the calls that we get on our show and all of the questions in social media check-in and all of the questions that I get on TikTok and Instagram, I think everybody needs to watch this segment, why it's important to tell the truth.
Yeah.
You would think that people would know that, but they don't. It's very important to watch. All right, you ready to get into some schmoozing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Did you watch State of the Union last night?
I watched clips.
You watched
Yes.
clips
Yes,
of it, but you didn't watch the whole thing.
Not
I watched the whole thing. You know, sometimes, Biden, he sometimes stutters along his words.
Yeah.
And I'm watching, I'm like, please, get through the sentence,
Yeah.
get through the sentence, please, you can do it. But it was a very strong,
Yeah.
do you get that sometimes?
No,
when
I do. But some people are better
like that.
public speakers
Yes,
than
right.
others.
Yeah, I'm like, come
Yeah.
on, you can do it. Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay, Jill just told me, so I shouldn't actually make fun.
See, because I have a stuttering
I
issue
didn't know
too,
that.
so I understand.
I didn't know that he actually had a stuttering issue. I just thought sometimes he fumbles.
See?
I didn't even know that, Jill. Thank you very much. Now I feel bad making fun.
Yeah, that's why I don't make fun, because I have that
didn't-
same issue.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And now Jill is in my ear telling me he did an amazing job overcoming it. So kudos to him.
Absolutely.
I would
be freaked out to have to, do that.
I was just thinking that he stumbles on his words a lot.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, come on, Joe, you can do it. You can do it. Come on, get through the sentence. But it was actually a very good speech. The one takeaway that I saw a lot of people talk about was that they didn't feel that Biden spoke enough about Ukraine and why it's important to protect Ukraine. There's still lots of Americans who feel bad for what's going on. Obviously, don't want to get involved in Ukraine. Don't want to send military into Ukraine because you don't want to have a war with Russia. There's other people who are just like, what does Ukraine even matter? So it would have been nice if Joe Biden said to the United States citizens why Ukraine matters, why what's going on in Ukraine matters. But he did point out that Vladimir Putin is going to go down in history as a very, very bad actor, as a very, very bad person. He attacked a peaceful, democratic country. And as a result, Biden also said that what Vladimir Putin wanted to do was to make NATO less relevant, make NATO less powerful, but it's actually had the opposite effect, that probably at no time since that, even in my lifetime, that I can remember. I can't remember a time in my lifetime, at least since 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, that United States and Europe and NATO have been lockstep, more united than ever. And what difference it is from 2-3 weeks ago.
Right.
President Biden did say that if Russia was to attack any NATO country, if they were to attack a NATO country, presumably it would be the ones closest to the Russian border: Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Romania, Bulgaria. I'm missing a few, but Slovakia. If you were to attack any of those countries, Latvia, any of those Eastern European countries, that the United States, with its full military might, will protect every inch of those NATO countries. He reiterated that NATO is a defensive alliance. It is not an offensive alliance, meaning that NATO does not start wars with anybody, but is collectively will protect each country. All 27 NATO countries will come to the help any particular NATO country that is attacked. He said that the economic sanctions are working. The ruble has lost more than 30% of its value. Russian stocks have plummeted so much that the Russians have not even opened up their stock exchange. Banks are being run out of money. The one thing that the United States has not done is Russian oil is still being pumped out. And the reason why Russian oil is still being purchased by both Europe and the United States is because they don't want to see gas prices rise too much. Although gas has risen. The price of gas and oil has risen. The United States has supposedly very good relations with the UAE, Saudi Arabia, two of the largest OPEC countries. They have at the moment been neutral in this situation. The United States has asked the OPEC countries to increase oil output. They have not done so. So the OPEC countries will make money on this. Russia, by the way, is OPEC plus. They are part of OPEC as well. So Russia, as gas prices go up, actually makes money too. There was a heavy focus on countering inflation. That's why Biden doesn't want to take Russian gas off the market.
Right.
It would cause even greater inflation. Biden touted some political wins ahead of the midterms, including the infrastructure bill. He did acknowledge that we are in a new phase of coronavirus. One thing I really did like is that they're setting up a now test and treat program in pharmacies around the United States of America. I don't know exactly when it's going to start, but Biden did announce it yesterday that when you go to a pharmacy now, you will be able to take a coronavirus test. And if you are positive for coronavirus, they will give you, Pfizer is now manufacturing millions and millions and millions of pills, kind of like an antiviral pill, or think of it like an antibiotic.
An antibiotic, okay.
And the United States has purchased them all for free.
Okay.
So if you are positive for coronavirus, not only will your tests be free in the pharmacy, but the United States is also going to give you the Pfizer pill, which is the antiviral pill, for free
awesome.
as well. And according to scientific studies, it is over 90% effective in preventing severe illness for COVID, whether you're vaccinated or not.
Okay.
So I thought that was a really good thing. Biden also, I don't know if you noticed or not, but nobody was wearing masks yesterday.
Right.
It was everybody, for the most part, maybe there's a few people still wearing masks, but for the most part, people were not wearing masks. People, all our politicians, our generals, our Supreme Court justices, our cabinet ministers, were all talking very close to one another. If I would assume if anybody was sick there with COVID, that was a super spreader event to every leader of the United States of America.
I'm sure they all got
tested before they went in.
Because usually for these big type of events, it's like 24 hours you have to take the test.
Yes, I am sure they all were tested.
Yeah.
I'm also sure that they're all vaccinated as well.
But at least that, gives us a lot of hope and, just moving towards getting normality again. And
Biden did talk about certain things that both Republicans and Democrats can get behind. He's trying to apparently, from this speech, move to the center. I think a lot of people thought he went too progressive in his first year, which is why his poll numbers are down. He's trying to get to the center for the midterm elections. So one of the things he was saying was he wants to be able to come together with and do bills that Republicans are also in favor of to show bipartisanship, including reducing pharmaceutical costs, including fighting opioid addiction, including doing what they call, quote unquote, the moonshot to cure cancer and fund enormous cancer research. And also, he got a standing ovation from just about everybody except the progressives in the Democratic Party, where he said he is in favor of funding police, not defunding police. He said that over and over. He reiterated it 3 or 4 times. He said, I am funding police. I am funding police. Yet still, the Justice Department has eliminated chokeholds, we want to put body cams on every police officer. So certain things to try to protect people in the streets from police officers. But for the most part, he was trying to be a law and order president, and he was in favor. He made it very, very clear. I think he said it 3 times, I think my recollection is. I want to fund police. I want to fund police.
we had also said that as well. You know, we don't want to just have no police officers out there, like, you know, but take certain actions to protect the people.
Yeah, I think a police force that respects people's dignity and rights and minority rights, certainly, and treats people equally. I think everybody could be in favor of that. Right. I don't know how we get there. I'm not a policing expert. But if I was president, I would figure it out. But certainly, I thought that was interesting as well. He did speak about immigration. He spoke about immigration a little more than we thought he was going to speak about it. He did reiterate that he wants to pass an amnesty for DACA recipients, first-line responders, agricultural workers, people with temporary protected status. He did say that he wants to process asylum cases quicker at the border. Nice. So he did say a lot more about immigration. I thought he was just going to say one sentence. He talked about it for about a minute or 2. Yeah. Because we did talk about yesterday. Right. People don't want to talk about immigration because it's the third rail of politics. And of course, the Russian invasion is continuing. Sad. Very, very sad. 21 people were killed and 112 wounded just in the city of Kharkov, which is right on the Russian-Ukrainian border. It is the second largest city. Apparently now Russia, because they kind of got stalled by the Ukrainian army, they're going on an all-out assault. They are bombing schools. They are bombing hospitals. They are bombing television stations. They are bombing apartment complexes, residential neighborhoods. They are trying to break the will of the Ukrainian people. They are bombing what appears to be, in many times, indiscriminately. I don't know how much longer they could hold out. Right. I really don't. But if you see the reports from the Pentagon, and again, I'm not there, I have no idea, but if you see the reports from the Pentagon announced earlier today that the Russians did not make much movement forward in trying to capture any additional parts of Ukraine that have not been captured already within the last 24 hours. So it's they've been kind of at a standstill for the last 24 hours there in the Ukraine. Extraordinarily sad. Over 1 million refugees have flooded into Europe. Ukraine, actually, his defense ministry is asking mothers of captured Russian troops to come to the Ukraine to pick up their children. Oh, wow. Yeah, the defense ministry wrote on a flyer posted on Facebook on Wednesday, "Mama, your prisoner of war son is waiting for you. Ukraine has made the decision to return prisoners of war to their mothers if they come to Ukraine to pick up their sons." The flyer shows a collage image of a member of Russia's military overlapped with a woman in distress. And the defense ministry wrote, "We ask you to deliver this message to the thousands of miserable Russian mothers whose sons have been captured in the Ukraine." They're trying to change the minds of the ordinary Russian citizen who may be a bit brainwashed from what Russian propaganda is telling them is going on. In the end, Ukraine's outmanned, outgunned, out everything. Yeah. And certainly now 1 week into this war, started Wednesday night, right after we got off the air. So we're almost 7 days into this war now. Putin thought he was going to already have Ukraine taken over. They haven't gotten into one city yet. you see on CNN, on MSNBC, on Fox News, this 40-mile caravan.
Right.
That caravan hasn't moved in the last 48 hours or so. Russia has supply line issues. So, you have all this military equipment, but you got to be able to follow the military equipment with gas trucks to fill back up the gas, to fill up the trucks. There's, the tank can't pull over into the local mobile station to fill up with gas.
That's true.
So they're having some, when you hear in the news, they're having supply line issues. They're having issues keeping their equipment moving forward, either because they're disorganized or because the Ukrainians are sabotaging the gas trucks that are coming from behind, or some combination of the two.
I'm just hoping that he doesn't just go rogue, because he's like, yo, I thought that I would have, Ukraine by now, so let me just throw everything out there.
Well, I mean, they're already using illegal ammunition.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
So
plus they're using ammunition that is barred by treaty under the United Nations.
Right.
Including these vacuum bombs that suck up, that cluster bombs that suck up air.
Right.
So these cluster bombs, they explode in the air.
They blow up in the air.
Instead of on the ground. So there's a lot of people who are collecting a lot of evidence of a lot of war crimes, but that doesn't help the Ukrainians at the moment.
I just don't know.
On one hand, I say, boy, I just wish the United States, we have the ability to do it. Just get in the air and have a no-fly zone, and you would save so many lives. But then maybe you would end up killing a lot more people, because there would be a war between the United States and Russia.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, big time.
That's the problem. And of course, Ukraine is trying to get into the European Union, but that's a process. It's going to be years and years and years.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen, unfortunately, overnight. And in Texas, it's going to be Governor Greg Abbott. He won the Republican primary. He is the sitting governor of Texas. He's going to be up against Beto O'Rourke, who is seeking the Democratic nomination. Beto O'Rourke almost beat Senator Cruz for the Senate race as a Democrat. Texas has always been Republican, but O'Rourke has come closest as a Democrat to winning a national seat as any Democrat in decades in Texas. So this will be a very interesting race, because Abbott is backed by Trump, and we'll see what happens. It's for next year. Be a lot of money going into that, Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of money. And coronavirus, the number of new coronavirus cases down. Nobody knows that for a fact, but it seems like nobody has COVID anymore.
Yeah,
it's just like it disappeared.
Yeah, you don't hear it as much. We don't hear about the deaths. See, that's why I'm wondering though. I'm wondering if the deaths are still the same. Because it's all about media. If the media doesn't report it, then
all of a sudden, why is the media not reporting it anymore?
I'm just kind of thinking. I don't know. Is it because they don't want us to know, or is it because it's actually going down?
I don't know. And I fly a lot. And I don't even get this, because I was thinking about this the other day. When you're flying on a plane with COVID, you have to wear a mask. You got to wear a mask. We're going to throw you off if you don't wear a mask. Except if you're eating, COVID goes away for 20 minutes.
Right.
All right. You can take your mask off and eat as long as you want.
Which doesn't make any sense.
COVID disappears. COVID's taking a break. Once the meal's over, COVID's back. Get your mask. The whole thing is a little odd to me. A little odd to me, yeah. The whole thing.
Just sitting in a restaurant. You could sit in the restaurant while you're sitting. That's when, you could throw off your mask and all that. And I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know the answers to that. I'm just saying it's weird. All right, it's hump day, Yo-Yo. Let's get a little humpy. Who's ready for hump day? Do we have any camels?
It's hump day. It's hump day. It's hump day.
Okay, by the way, before we get into hump day, Yo-Yo, as I say, this happens every show. You know what I was going to say.
I already know.
All right.
Was it Ali Mami?
Correct.
Ali Mami?
Alimami Baker Sase.
It's right.
What is the telephone number to call? I would hope that if the squad sees that they could assist us.
Yes.
We don't have to stop our show to tell people.
Yeah, let them answer that.
All right. Can you please, squad, help Alimami Baker Sase
See right there?
with the telephone number where she can
Right
call
down
us.
there.
All right, it's hump day, and OnlyFans is having a problem with their Russian performers. Several Russian content creators spoke out on Sunday saying they were unable to share their new videos because OnlyFans was not able to pay them their commissions because of the sanctions against Russia. One of the models said, in the short term, I don't have any money to live. Many models are faced with this. Nobody thought this would ever happen. And this model was named Bunny Mommy.
Whoa.
Yeah, the model claims she lost over $8,000 because this is Bunny Mommy. Because of the financial sanctions against Russia. In a statement, I mean, you would think that it was only affecting the oligarchs, but it's also affecting the porn performers as well.
Mean, everybody's affected.
It affects everybody, yo.
Everybody's affected.
Yeah. In a statement Sunday, OnlyFans told the Daily Beast, while creators are not responsible for the recent attacks on Ukraine due to worldwide financial restrictions, we have very limited methods to pay creator accounts linked to Russia and Belarus. As a result, payments have been limited. However, on Monday, OnlyFans told the Daily Star, after experiencing financial restrictions, we have been able to restore account activity for all creators, all porn creators, wherever you are in this world. Porn knows no boundaries. Porn, by the way, porn is always able to, they're always ahead of everything else.
Of course.
You know, when the internet first came out, and in 1995, the only thing on the internet was porn. That was it. They are ahead of the game.
I'm actually watching Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee when their little porn thing came out. So like that's exactly where it's at.
I can tell you, the porn performers, they figure out everything ahead of everybody else. You want to know what the next greatest thing is? Just watch porn, all right? Because they're ahead, they're technologically ahead. So they figured out how to beat the sanctions, and their accounts have now been credited, and there's lots of happy and horny people around the world who can see their favorite performers, including Bunny Mama.
Yeah, my thing is, y'all are in war. Why y'all worried about porn? Y'all need to like, I think there's a lot more things that I'd be worried about than watching some porn.
All right, if people are stressed out,
I guess that's your way to relieve the stress.
You can only relieve your stress one of three ways. You can eat, you can drink, or you can watch porn.
Yeah.
All right, I don't know. You know, you got to pick your poison, I guess.
That makes sense.
Right? So there was good news for OnlyFans. Their favorite porn performers are now getting paid again. It's amazing that the porn people are always they're always in the forefront of figuring this stuff out.
Always. Even during the pandemic, like they found a way.
Exactly. Meanwhile, according to records reviewed by the New York Post, they did a Freedom of Information Act request to request all reports to 311. 311 is the New York City number when you call to make a complaint to the city, a non-emergency complaint. 911 obviously is somebody is at my door ready to kill me, or I am having a heart attack, call an ambulance. That would be emergency 911. 311 is I just have a complaint.
Right.
So they did a FOIA on 311 complaints.
That's what you do.
For all, exactly. For all sex complaints over the past year. And there were reports that the New York Post got back that people called 311 regarding everything from backyard orgies to the sounds of loud, ruthless sex to the grunts of one caller yelling out, "I'm a sexual Tyrannosaurus."
Oh.
That's what he was yelling out
A sexual Tyrannosaurus. Sheesh.
I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if that would turn me on and scare the hell out of me.
Depends on who's saying it.
I guess, maybe. Now, one desperate Bronx woman, this is all from the Freedom of all the different 311 reports. There was another woman who complained in January, listen, I am a Christian woman. Help this girl stop having loud sex before God does.
That was her.
Yes.
Right
Can you imagine?
there.
And then June, a Queens resident complained at 1 a.m. to 311. There's an orgy going on in the backyards. Boobs and penises are everywhere.
Listen, it's their space.
And then
you do what you're going to do in your space.
If Yo-Yo was the 311 operator, can you give me that address one last time, please?
Right.
Wait, can you tell me the cross streets? I will go over there and investigate myself.
Right.
There was another report that came in over the summer as well. Someone in the Bronx said his neighbors were having loud and ruthless sex in the middle of the afternoon. Another report had a Manhattan resident complaining of a sex party next door. There's lots of orgies going on.
I said, and the thing is, it's literally all over New York. It's the Bronx, Queens,
and I'm going to tell you
Brooklyn,
the thing
Manhattan.
also. All right, I live in New York my whole life. Nobody's invited me to these sex orgies.
Are you trying to go?
No, but I would like an invitation at least. Nobody even invites me. I'm reading all this. I'm like, where's my invitation? I'd like to even at least have the choice of whether to go or not. Nobody invites me.
The funny thing is, I have a friend who hosts some sex parties at an apartment that is turned into a lounge.
Really? Is this your have you visited these?
No.
Hell no.
It's just a good friend. It's actually a frat brother. So big ups to you.
I wonder if this is your friend's apartment.
It might be.
This Queens man wrote a complaint at 4 in the morning. There was a complaint on 311 by a Queens man about his neighbor's apartment always having loud moaning from multiple female occupants having intercourse. It's hard for a lonely neighbor to get a good night's sleep, he told 311.
That might be my frat brother, y'all. It might be my frat brother.
If you're that lonely, maybe knock on the door. Hi, how are you?
Join in on the fun, y'all. Just join in.
And a different resident said, I've slept through earthquakes and fires in my life, but I couldn't sleep through this moaning. I mean, they're really funny.
So what do you think they should do at this point? Like, you have neighbors that are loud. They always are having sex parties, and you keep on calling. Like, do you end up moving out, or do you just go and deal with it? What do you do?
I think at some point you would need to complain to your landlord or the condominium board or wherever, and take it up as a contractual issue, because you do have a right to quiet, peace and quiet in your apartment.
I agree,
but that is not a New York City. It's not
law.
I mean, it is a New York City law, but it's not for New York City to police it unless it is completely raucous. But you do have a right to peace and quiet, and you bring a civil suit against your neighbor, or you bring it up with your condominium board or co-op board, or you bring it up with your landlord.
See, now me personally, I don't have an issue with them having their sexual parties. I have an issue with the noise. So I think some of these people, like the Christian lady, I think some of them are disgusted at the fact that there's an orgy happening in their area. Now that you allow them to do what they want in their space, but if it comes to noise complaint like that, I don't play with.
Now the person who complained about the sexual Tyrannosaurus called several times. And said that his neighbor was shouting loudly that he's a sexual Tyrannosaurus. It's happening all the time. Please make him stop. And a Instagram influencer was left devastated after losing thousands of followers for advertising a sex toy and broadcasting the benefits of masturbation. Yes.
Really?
Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. I was making a joke.
Nope.
Say it was you.
I did not follow this
Nellie
person.
London, 28, is a model with hundreds of thousands of fans on social media, frequently sharing snaps of her curvy figure. But it turns out many of her 466,000 followers on Instagram were not so positive about the star showing off her Vush Empress 2 stimulator. These sex toys always have the funniest names to them, right?
Bush.
Yeah, it's like the, I don't know. It's like always something 3000. I don't know. It's like the Stingray 3000.
I mean, it's got to have some kind of exciting name.
Yeah. The more than 2,000 critics unfollowed London in the wake of a post she shared on Thursday. In a follow-up to post, the model said 2,062 people have unfollowed me. The influencer insisted it was for only fun, not cheating, and that she's still in a sexually satisfying relationship with a partner. She said, I won't lie, it's a bit unsettling, but it just proves the work.
She has 466,000 followers.
What is she crying about?
And also, like, if you go back to the post where she's showing the Vush or whatever it's called, it's a paid ad. So she's getting paid for that ad, So, like...
I think, by the way... That was a good publicity thing.
That's exactly what it was, because now that she's on New York Post or wherever they posted this, she's got way more new followers. Like, I think it's whatever. All
right, and backed by popular demand, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, we're going to do this once a month at the beginning of each month.
Okay.
On Hump Day, your love horoscopes for March 2022.
All right.
Once a month, I turn into an astrologist.
Yeah.
Now, generally, you should always expect changes in your romantic life when Venus and passionate Mars make moves on the same day. In February, we had the snow moon, but this month, get ready for the Virgo full moon.
Oh.
It is the Virgo full moon. The month of March marks the astrological new year. It kicks off with a dark new moon in sensitive Pisces. Wednesday, March 2nd, new moons mark new cycles. Circle Saturday, March 5th on your calendar, because love is going down on Saturday, March 5th, Yo-Yo.
Ooh, I want everybody in the comments, though. First of all, I want everybody in the comments to put down their zodiac sign.
Right. Let me tell you why love is going down on Saturday, March 5th.
Why?
Venus and Mars have entered detached Aquarius. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
That sounds something.
Sounds very starry.
Yeah, well, Venus represents sweet romantic love. Mars is all about hot primal sex.
That kind of makes sense.
Yes. Any lingering relationship issues will culminate during the full moon in perfectionist Virgo on Friday, March 18th. And the moon should soothe any hurt feelings or miscommunications. So March 5th, is really hump day. And Friday, March 18th, that's the day you make up with your boo. According to the astrological moon signs of the month. Now for you, Jonathan Yo-Yo.
I'm an Aries.
You're an Aries. Get excited, Aries. March 21st to April 19th. Because your season kicks off this month. You are the first sign of the zodiac and as a result are fiercely independent. But during March, the stars ask you to celebrate by utilizing your support system and leaning on friends.
Ooh.
Pay attention to your dreams this month, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, because your dreams are telling you something, and messages may appear while you are sleeping.
Whoa!
Make sure to make wishes during the new moon in your sign at the end of the month, because they're going to come true. That is your horoscope for Aries.
You know what's crazy? I don't know if these are like just coincidence or what, but this is a month or the week that I've actually been, leaning on friends and asking, some of my networks for different, help with some projects that I'm doing. So,
Maybe. Yeah. Now, I'm a Libra. That is the sign of partnership and balance. Libra, and your ruling planet is lover Venus. As a result, it's expected that you tend to find yourself in relationships. You don't have to break up with anyone, but March asks you to become more self-reliant. When you become confident on your own terms, you become a better partner to others, and your relationships improve all around. So double down on self-care, even if it means taking more bubble baths and going out on dates.
Self-care. That's actually great advice.
Self-care Wednesdays.
That's great advice.
I will go and take a bubble bath tonight then.
You should. Light up some candles.
I have not taken a bubble bath in a very long time. I don't even
You
remember the last time.
should light up some candles. Have
Sit in the bath?
some smell good.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
That sounds good.
All right.
I'm not mad at that.
All right, should I go through everybody's horoscope very
Real
quickly?
quick, real quick.
Taurus, April 20th to May 20th. You're ruled by Venus, the goddess of love. March brings out your ruling planet's bougie side when you receive exciting monetary news. Gemini, March begins with a new moon in Pisces that brings exciting new professional opportunities. Cancer, June 21st to July 22nd. Cancer, helping you eloquently express your feelings with romantic relationships. But the big thing for you during March is money, honey.
Ooh.
Cancer is coming into some money.
Cancer.
Yeah,
the money. Go
Leo, this month, thanks to the influence of both Mars and Venus, it's time for Leos to share their feelings. Open up, Leos.
Yeah, they need to do
You
that.
got to open up, Leo. Virgos, August
My
23rd. Mama Yo-Yo, it's time to have a serious conversation with Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
All right, you got to open up a little bit. Don't hold it all in, Leo. Don't hold it all
That's
in.
a Leo.
Virgo, the tarot card that corresponds with your sign is the Hermit Virgo, but March asks you to beware of isolation. An ethereal new moon in Pisces brings a fresh start to your relationships, so try something new in bed. Ooh, if you're a Virgo, exploring. Yeah, a little kinky there.
Yeah.
Scorpio, October 23rd to November 21st, you're the sign of sex, death, and transformation. Scorpio, and have a reputation for being killer in bed. But March asks you to step up and work on intimacy. This month also asks you to work out disagreements at home. You'll be happier.
Oh,
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Sagittarius, November 22nd to December 21st. March opens on a dramatic note. Hold off on having serious relationship discussions. Focus on daily mindfulness. Cultivate a gratitude and practice. Capricorn, you're one of the hardest working signs of the zodiac, but with a full moon in Virgo, mid-month, remember the importance of rest and self-care. And in sexier news for you Capricorns, when you shower a crush or lover with compliments, you're going to get a lot of love in return. I'm going to tell you something. I think if somebody showers me with compliments, I would give them a lot of love in return too. Yes.
Sounds about right.
I think Ian may be a Capricorn. Aquarius, early in the month, a new moon in dreamy Pisces lights up the financial sector of your chart. Treat yourself and just wait for what the full moon in Virgo has in store for your sex life.
Oh, I like it.
Aquarius, coming in strong. And Pisces, finally, on February 19th to March 20th, the month kicks off with a fresh new moon in your sign, and it asks you to be nicer to yourself and remember that you deserve love and abundance. Warrior planet Mars enters eccentric Aquarius on Saturday, March 5th, revealing many secrets. That's the same day as Hump Day. You're going to get secrets and Hump Day all on March 5th. Lover planet Venus also moves into Aquarius, so you're in store for something sweet this weekend. A full moon in Perfectionist Virgo on Friday, March 18th is an epic day for your love life and suggests that the sex you will have on Friday, March 18th will bring you nothing but smiles.
Ooh, that was fun.
Pisces, having a good horoscope.
Yeah.
Did I get everybody?
I like the Aries. I like my Aries. I'm going to actually, actually utilize it and follow it.
All right, you ready to do some TikTok?
Let's do it.
All right, TikTok time. Let's do it. Yes, you can sue the Department of Homeland Security for delayed case. It's called a mandamus. You ask a federal judge to force the government to make a decision on your case because they're violating your constitutional rights for a governmental decision. A delayed case is a denied case. If you got deported, even if you pass the time where they say you're allowed to come back, you need a waiver to re-enter after deportation. It also depends why you got deported. Perhaps you have an underlying criminal record that prevents you from ever coming back to America. You need a lawyer. There's no girlfriend sponsorship, but you can marry her in a bona fide marriage. You're in legal status. Priority dates are current for the F2A category. As soon as you marry, you could adjust your status immediately and get your green card. You could only get a social security number from the Social Security office if you have legal status at this moment. So if you lost your number, they're not giving you a new one unless you're a resident or you have some other legal status that entitles you to a social security number. Watch Bradshaw Live every day, 6 to 8 p.m., YouTube and Facebook. We are locked and loaded for meat and potatoes. Ooh. You know what locked and loaded means?
That means we have all the lines locked and
Locked
loaded.
and loaded. It's meat and potatoes time. Let's do it. Patrick in Philadelphia, how are you?
Hey, bro, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Bro, I got 2 questions for you. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, bro, I think I talked to you the last time. I went for my interview. Everything went well. But the USCIS is asking me to show a certified copy of my criminal record.
What's your criminal record?
And my sister passed away. I'm trying to leave next month to go to Africa. I don't know if it's safe I can leave.
Well, you have a pending adjustment, so you can get advanced parole, but whether or not you can come back depends on your criminal record. What's your criminal record?
I mean, it's all traffic.
All traffic violations?
Yeah, I got 20 traffic violations.
But nothing criminal?
I mean, I got DUI, but all got dismissed.
You got what?
I have DUI was in the press. I got DUI, but it got dismissed. I have a certified copy, but I'm
all right, so if your DUI was dismissed and everything else is a traffic offense, then you can travel on advanced parole and come back. I doubt they're going to make a decision anyway for months and months and months.
So
go on advanced parole.
So submitting this document, I'm trying to get a lawyer to help me do that.
Hold on one second. That's a good idea before you start submitting dispositions. Hold on. Let's go to Mokhtar in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, Brad, how you doing, bro?
Good. How are you?
We're doing great. I applied for my son. Therefore, I'm a citizen. I applied for him. He became a citizen. Now he's 22. He's going on 22 years old, and he want to bring his mother. But he did not have a citizen certificate. He only got passport. Is that going to cause any trouble?
Well, he can file for his mother with his U.S. passport, but I would also simultaneously suggest that he get a certificate of citizenship, because ultimately it's the certificate of citizenship that is non-disputable whether he's a citizen or not. I've seen people get U.S. passports, have their passports taken away saying you're not a citizen, it was done incorrectly. Once you get your certificate of citizenship, it's indisputable that you're a citizen. He could certainly file with his passport. I would also file for a certificate of citizenship. File for his mother with the passport, but file for the certificate of citizenship. The other reason is this. Every person living in the United States, I believe, should have 2 forms of identification that they are a citizen. For example, I was born in New York City, so my identification that I'm a U.S. citizen is my birth certificate saying I was born in New York and my U.S. passport. If you're naturalized, you have a naturalization certificate and a U.S. passport. For people who are derivative citizens, your son is a citizen because you were a citizen. He should have a certificate of citizenship and a passport. So there's no question. But yes, but the answer to your question is, can he file for his mother with his passport? The answer is yes.
And on his birth certificate, the mother's first name was not on it.
So file with an affidavit. File with an affidavit that this is the mother. They may ask for a blood test.
Oh, they may ask for a blood test.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
And I follow you every day.
Thank you.
You do pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We like your show, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's go to Anuj in Lake Eisner, California.
Hi, Brad. How are you? Good. Thank you so much. I like your shows every time watching, so that's why today I want to ask you some question, if you don't mind.
My pleasure.
Sure. So actually, I applied my N400 application in last year, August 29th, 2021. And I don't heard about anything yet, even not take my fingerprint, nothing. So that's why
they are using your old biometrics that they have stored from when you got your green card for your citizenship. So that's probably why you didn't get fingerprinted. As far as when you should...
They will notify me or no?
They don't notify you. They just use it and do it. So in the background, they took your old fingerprints and they're checking your background with that. All right, because your biometrics are all done electronically now. It's not like it's a
correct, yes.
Card. So they don't
So
need.
how long is
They don't
taking
need
my interview?
They don't need the biometric a second time. Your interview should be approximately, give or take, 8 to 12 months from the time you file, unless there's something in your background that would require greater scrutiny. So if you filed in August, I would assume sometime between April and this April and this August 2022, you'll get an interview.
So between like April and August,
I would assume.
somewhere.
I would assume. I can't guarantee you, obviously, but I'd assume.
No, I know, definitely. And last question. Like you said, I'm moving like city to city. I'm maybe actually moving in March, end of the March. So definitely, so when I move it, so I have to go online and change my address, or
Yes.
both way?
Yes.
Online and plus also send them by paper mail AR11, or what
Yes,
is
I would do both. I would do both.
Both is better, right?
Yes. Be safe.
So just go to the online and just print out the AR11,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Okay. Thank you so much, Brad. I appreciate this. This is my question
My
only.
pleasure.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Excuse me, folks. Let's go to Abraham in Boston. Abraham.
Yes.
Hi,
Brad.
how are you?
Hi. I'm good. So I had this 290B case that I submitted for appeal, and just in January, after a few years, they say, hey, we send you a notice and we transfer the case to another office to speed up the process.
Did you make a motion to reopen and appeal? What is this 290B?
So in 2019, I made a motion to open and reconsider both.
For what?
For my I-485 was denied because they said I abandoned the case.
Why didn't you just refile again? You would have had your green card by now.
So I refiled again in November.
But this is the problem.
2021.
You can't refile again when you have a pending I-290B, so you have to withdraw that.
Okay. So I have to withdraw which one?
The appeal. Motion to reopen.
Okay.
All right.
So now they said the transfer to speed up the process. I should withdraw it or I should leave it?
You have to withdraw your motion to reopen. Hopefully your current adjustment goes through. You cannot have both your motion to reopen and adjustment pending at the same time.
Okay.
All right. By the way, you are a perfect example of why I tell everybody, lose the battle, win the war. Motions to reopen take years and years and years. You don't get to renew your work permit. Most of them get denied anyway. Even though it sucks, it's much easier, quicker, faster, more efficient just to refile your paperwork again.
So since that time, the state then gave me a work permit all the years.
I know, because on a motion to
was in
reopen, you
place.
don't get one. Now that you filed a new adjustment, you'll get one.
Oh, no. So when the case was denied, and that same month submitted the motion for reopening and reconsideration. Since 2019, they've been giving me work permit all the time.
They have
all the time. Every time.
They shouldn't have, but good for you.
Yeah, every time just recently now, they still give me a new one.
They shouldn't have, but good for you.
Okay.
All right. You got lucky. All right, let's go to Dwight in Jersey City. Dwight.
Hello, Brad. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I think you answered my question. My question was about the certificate of citizenship, but if you could just underscore for me, you would recommend that you get one in any circumstance, right?
Yes. Because it's the Department of Homeland Security that has the final say on whether you're a citizen or not. They're the one who gives the certificate of citizenship. When you get that, there is no more question. Nobody could ever say you're not a citizen. If you just have the U.S. passport and not the certificate of citizenship, I've seen people have their U.S. passports taken away all the time.
Okay. All right. That was my question. And thank you for your help.
My pleasure. Let's go to Anne.
Yes, Brad. Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, Brad. I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
Me and I have two sons, right? Me and them come to America in 2020, in July, right?
Yes.
I came here. After a couple months, my daughter decided that she's going to do an adjustment of status for me. to do the adjustment of status, and I got through with the green card and everything.
Great.
Hello?
I'm listening.
Yes, thanks. Thanks for it. It was your good advice that let me get through to Brad, because I watch your program every day.
Thank you.
Yes, and I was trying to upload my kids because we've been here from 2020, so I got my green card, so I want to put in I-130 for my 2 sons, even though they overstay. But when I put in the I-94, it says no record found.
Uh-huh.
But the passport is stamped, the stamp date in it, but I don't know if it's because they came up with 2 passports. One that came the 25th of July.
How old are your children?
8 and 10.
All right. Where's the father of the children?
No, Brad, I don't want to do a switch, Brad.
Okay,
I just want
fine.
to ask you how to get the I-94 because...
You don't need it. You don't need it because your children have overstayed their time at this point. They would have to go back to Jamaica or whatever country they're from to pick up their green cards. So if you don't have the I-94, it's no big deal. You don't need it. Just file
so what if I want to just file the I-130?
File the I-130, and where it says I-94, say, I don't have it.
And it will be okay?
It will still be okay.
So they wouldn't want proof of entry in the country or nothing?
You have proof. It's a copy of their passport with the stamp in it.
Okay.
Right,
So just file the
I-130. It's fine.
And just put on the part, say, no, I don't have the I-94.
I don't have it. Don't have it.
And it will be okay.
It will be okay.
So, Brad, when I file the I-130 and it is approved, and they go back to Jamaica to pick up the green card, it won't be a problem for them to come back. It will trigger the bar?
As long as they return before they're 18, there's no bar against children.
Okay, Brad. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Yes, thanks.
Let's go to Feek in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Feek or Fick.
Oh, hi, Brad. How are you? I'm good, thank you. My question is, I filed for I-751 on April 2021. Fingerprints reused May 2021. Sorry, I was reading that question. Okay, so me and my wife make arguments, so she called the police, they arrest me, took me 14 hours, then they released me with no contact order. Then she contacted with the judge and removed the order. Also, she will not fight for the case. And my lawyer told me the case will be dismissed because she's not going to fight for the case.
Good.
So my question is, I already have I-751 case. How this situation going to affect this
let me
case?
ask you a question. Now that your wife had you arrested, but she's not pressing charges against you, and this case is going to be dismissed, and this no contact order is resolved, are you and her together,
yes,
or are you guys getting divorced or separated? What's going on?
Right now, it was, she was in depression problem, so I get separated a little bit, couple months, but still we are talking. Just a couple months we are taking break, but we are still talking. We have son, that's not easy to break up. I mean, in this point, yeah. Just worrying that's how this stuff gonna affect this case.
Well,
like
ultimately, if you're arrested, believe it or not, if you're arrested for domestic violence and the case is dismissed against you, it actually builds your case that you're in a valid marriage with your spouse, which is the only thing you need to do to remove the conditions of your residence, because people are not in domestic violence cases if they're not in real marriages. Nobody pays somebody to marry somebody and then ends up in a domestic violence situation with them or gets arrested because they're fighting with their spouse. So as long as ultimately the charges were dismissed, believe it or not, that's evidence that it was a real marriage. Why? Because the cops showed up and saw you both emotionally arguing and screaming at each other.
Wow, I didn't think this way. Thank you.
So as long as the charges were dismissed, it helps your case. It doesn't hurt it. Now, ultimately, because you and your wife are separated, if you show up to the interview with your wife separated, generally they would deny your case, saying you guys are not in a legitimate marriage anymore. The one exception is if you have children with your wife, you have this domestic violence thing that was dismissed, you guys can show you're trying to work things out, your wife shows up and tries to assist you to get your permanent green card, I think that case would go through.
Okay. So, sometimes they are sending 10 years card without like interview. That's why, because my friend just gets her card.
It's possible.
Yeah, that's
too.
possible.
It's possible too.
So, can I ask a couple more questions, or I just write it down here? How this stuff gonna affect my citizenship? Because I was about to apply for.
That's a different story, because you have to prove good moral character for citizenship, even though you don't have a criminal conviction. Good moral character does not come into play removing the conditions of your permanent residence. It does come into play with your naturalization. But there was one arrest. The charges were ultimately dismissed. So I would say that you'll be okay. Because you are separated from your spouse, they are not going to make you a citizen after 3 years. You would have to wait the 5 years.
Okay. How about this no contact order? When I released from the jail, they told me no contact with
but that's
your wife.
So now you're okay.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Have a good day then.
Let's go to Franklin in Newark, New Jersey. Franklin.
Hello?
Hi.
Brother. Yeah. So, brother, I have two questions though. So I applied for VAWA. So they sent me prima facie for 1 year. So I think after that 1 year expired, they sent me another one for 180 days.
Right.
So what I want to know is everything going to be okay?
Magic 8 Ball. Franklin from Newark, New Jersey. Filed a VAWA case and got a prima facie, not one time, but 2 times. And now wants to know if everything will be okay. Will everything be okay for Franklin? Not knowing anything about his case at all, other than he got a prima facie. My reply is probably. Magic 8 Ball says, it's always right. So Magic 8 Ball says, probably you will be okay. When you file a VAWA and you get a prima facie, that's good news. The good news for a prima facie is that you have at least shown evidence of all 3 items that you need to prove to get your approval. You need to prove it was a bona fide marriage. You need to prove there was abuse. You need to prove good moral character. And you have shown at least a minimum amount of evidence on all 3 of those items, so they have given you the prima facie. That's good news. You will eventually, unless there was severe physical abuse, and you have demonstrated it up front, almost everybody in a VAWA case gets an RFE, a request for more evidence. They will issue that to you probably at about the 2.5 year mark of your pending VAWA case. And at that point, you'll have to respond and answer their questions and issues and problems that they have. And hopefully you do that successfully, and then you'll get a green card. But the fact that you have a prima facie is good news, because at least you've shown some evidence of all 3 items. That's all I can tell you at the moment. I don't know whether you'll get approved or not.
Okay. Then I applied for work authorization card. So there was an issue. So they asked for more evidence for the work authorization card. So, but I didn't reply.
What evidence did they ask for?
So they asked for, because when I was filling the form, I made a mistake. Instead of me putting C27, I think I put C30 or C31.
Okay, so have you filed an adjustment application?
Yes, but I have to wait for I abandoned it though. So they now say after 1 year they send.
Okay, you don't know what you're talking about. You either filed an adjustment or didn't. You never abandoned anything, so you don't know what you're talking about. C31 is correct. You get your work permit based on C31 after your I-360 is approved. If you want to get your work permit before your I-360 is approved, you file an adjustment, which is impossible to abandon if you have a pending VAWA, and a work permit under C9. Sounds like you never filed an adjustment application.
I did.
You did. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, but I did it separately though. Yeah, it was separate.
Probably denied because you didn't attach, so there was no basis for that adjustment. So you're screwing up somewhere. Hold on. Let's go to Junior in Los Angeles. Junior.
Hello?
Hi.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Whatever it is. I received an approval notice 1:30 last August 25th, 2021. I'm just worried because the county sent me a letter that I'm qualified for a SNAP benefits. So I took it and I asked them if I took the SNAP benefits, you think I'll be in trouble with my petition with my wife when it comes to interview?
No, because Biden just changed the law, so it's okay.
It's okay now. All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That's all I want to know. So,
You're welcome. Let's go to Monty in New York.
Hi, sir. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good, sir. I filed my WAWA case last year, 2021. Then I received the prima facie letter, and I just want to know how long did this take fully?
You filed a what and a what?
I just filed a WAWA case 2021, and then I received a letter from the USCIS about
Did you file
prima
an
facie.
adjustment application with it?
Yes, sir.
All right. It's about 3 years.
It's about 3 years.
Yes.
I mean, this is a good thing. So if I receive the prima facie.
As I said before, yes. That means you touched on all 3 items that you need to prove to get approved.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. All right, bye.
Let's go to Kathy in the Brooklyn. Hi, Kathy.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Brad. So my daughter's father, he was naturalized, right? And he filed for my 13-year-old daughter, who's a foreign-born child. I just wanted to know, right? Would she be eligible to get a green card, or would she become a citizen through him?
Your husband, or is it the biological
My
father? Stepfather.
The biological father of my daughter's father.
Your daughter's father. How old is she?
She is, when he did the application, she was 12, but she's 13 right now.
Does she have a green card?
No. So I'm asking now, he filed for her, right?
Where is she?
I think she's up here right now.
Okay, does she live with him?
No, she lives with me.
Okay. If she lives with him when she gets her green card, she becomes an automatic citizen. If she lives with you when she gets her green card, she's not. Because to become an automatic citizen, you have to have a green card and be living in the physical and legal custody, not visiting the biological father, but he is the custodial parent and the guardian of this child. Then she would become an automatic citizen. If not, she would have to naturalize when she's 18.
She would naturalize when she's 18?
Right. If she doesn't live in the physical and legal custody of the biological father who's the U.S. citizen.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mashi in Brooklyn. Mashi. Mashi. Mashi going once. Mashi going twice. Mashi looks like she's mashed up. Mashed up instead of washed up. See if we can get her on the phone. Isaac in Philadelphia. Isaac. Going once. Isaac going twice.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right. I'm about to hang up on you too, Isaac.
Thank you, Brad. I just have just one question.
What?
I'm a green card holder, and I have 10 years green card. But I got into some trouble some times ago. I was given a ticket for possession of marijuana, which is $25. But I contested the ticket, and I went to court, and it was reduced to a warning. Now my question is, if I travel out of the country, would that make me inadmissible?
It was reduced to, there's no such thing as a warning. You mean a disorderly conduct?
It was reduced to a warning.
It was reduced to a warning?
Yes, warning ticket, so I don't have to pay anything.
I don't know what a warning is. This happens in New York State?
No, it happens in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia.
Oh, okay, I understand. I don't know what the penal code of Pennsylvania is. I would have to actually see the disposition of what you were found guilty of.
Oh, okay. So you don't know what is gonna, if it's
I don't
gonna
know what a
make me
warning is.
inadmissible.
I don't know what a warning means in Philadelphia. So I would need to see it first. I can't tell you off the top of my head. Hold on one second.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Miss Blakely in Los Angeles. Miss Blakely.
Yes. Good evening.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And yourself?
Good. What can I do to help you?
Okay. I went for my green card interview. That was on 19th of November.
Right.
With my husband. It was a marriage interview, and they just gave me a letter that says that my case must be reviewed, that I should wait for 120 days before I contact them. It is already 100 days now, and I want to travel to Africa by June. I don't know what to do, if I should continue waiting for them.
You have advanced parole?
Huh?
You have advanced parole?
No, I'm thinking of if I should apply for the advanced parole.
Advanced parole right now. I don't know if you'll get it by June, but apply for it right now. It sounds like to me that they're going to schedule you for a second interview or send you what's called a notice of intent to deny, that they have questions about the validity of your marriage. Generally, when they say we have to review your case and then you don't hear from them for a very long time, that means they don't believe it's a good marriage. You were unable to prove it was a good marriage, and you'll either get a Stokes interview, a second interview where they separate you, or a notice of intent to deny where they have questions about what happened at the interview and you got to respond to it. So travel.
They separated also at the first
You may
one.
not hear from them for a while.
Oh.
And if by chance, so apply for the advanced parole, and if by chance you get a green card, fabulous. And you travel with your green card.
Okay.
All right?
It's okay. Thank you so very much.
All right. Mashi in Brooklyn. I think we're back to Mashi.
Yes, I'm sorry, Uncle Brad.
No worries. What's going on?
I have a question. I sent you a message via Instagram, but I am in Brooklyn on vacation. I have a few more weeks here, and my fiance is suggesting we get married before I go back home. And I'm wondering if I can do that, and also if I do go that route, can I start my filing before I return home, or do you suggest I go home, then you start the filing?
Your fiance is a citizen or a resident?
He's a citizen.
And when you say you're here visiting for a few weeks, how many weeks have you been here so far?
I only came on Saturday. I'm here for about 4 more weeks.
Okay. I would not suggest getting married within the first 90 days of your entry. It would be a misrepresentation. If you stay 90 days, and you're willing to stay 90 days and not 4 weeks, and then get married on day 91, then your fiance would file for your adjustment here. I would strongly recommend that, because to go home and then have him either file as a fiance visa or have him go down whatever country you are in, marry you, come back and file for you to get a green card back in your home country is going to be years and years and years and years and years, because they're so backed up. And to adjust your status here in New York is less than a year. So to me, it's a no-brainer. But you wait 90 days, then get married, then do your adjustment.
Okay, so if I'm unable to wait 90 days since I'm on vacation from work, that means that he would have to come to Jamaica and we get married there?
And then you're going to wait several years for a green card. Perhaps you would want to have a consultation with me.
I think also consular processing is out of it.
Consular processing will take you several years. Multiple years. Do you want to wait multiple years, more than 2, perhaps even 3, to start your life with your fiance? Or is your job that important? I think you need a consultation.
It's not only my...
I think you need a consultation. I mean, quite frankly, I could discuss your whole life with you, and thousands of people, but I think you need a consultation.
Okay, thank you.
Hold on. All right. By the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions answered, you could be like Mashi or Muchi. Mashi. Drop me a DM at Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram. I'll try to answer your questions as best as I can. You could also follow me at Bradshaw Live. You don't like 2 hours of us, but you like 2 minutes of us or 30 seconds of us. Follow us on Instagram at Bradshaw Live. You could also follow me on TikTok, our fastest growing social media platform. drop me a comment, a question, and I may respond with a personalized video directly to you for tens of thousands of people to watch. Perhaps even 2 million. I had 2.4 million people watch one personalized video.
This is true. And you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And later in the show, Spar and Bernstein immigration attorney and partner Shannon, LaGuerre, Maingrette will discuss what misrepresentation during the immigration process is. Exactly what I was talking about with Mashi.
Right.
Coming up on a visitor's visa and getting married in the first 90 days is misrepresentation. How it could affect your case, what to do if someone gives false information to USCIS.
And now in this VIP outtake, first-generation Indian American political news reporter and Navy Reserve officer tells us why she is so thankful to have been born in America.
I was born in Boston, and my parents are from 2 different parts of India. I mean, it's pretty crazy to think about just because it makes me feel so lucky, because it is almost like a lot. I was born in Boston, and my parents are from 2 different parts of India. I mean, it's pretty crazy to think about just because it makes me feel so lucky, because it is almost. I was born in Boston, and my parents are from 2 different parts of India. I mean, it's pretty crazy to think about just because it makes me feel so lucky, because it is almost like a lottery. And I mean, they literally use the word lottery sometimes with these visas. I think about it a lot, to be honest, and it was one of the main reasons that I joined the military, because I felt like a need to give back to the United States, because I know, I'm very well aware, and I think that's one unique thing about first-generation Americans is our parents sort of are constantly telling us how lucky we are and how we have so many resources in this country, and sometimes it's like a lot of pressure. I'm sure there are a lot of other kids of Indian immigrants who might be able to relate to that, but I don't necessarily think that it's overall a bad pressure, because it makes you want to take advantage of those opportunities, and it's a constant reminder that you don't want to squander them.
All right. Jonathan has been scouring the comments on Facebook and YouTube for the best questions, issues, problems, concerns of the day. Jonathan has it right now, all for us in social media check-in. Let's do it.
All right. Tashai Burke Salmon on YouTube. I submitted my I-751 in February 2020. My 2-year green card expired May 2020. I received a letter saying the I-751 is extended 24 months. Can I apply for citizenship?
When did he get his conditional green card?
It expired May 2020. The
Okay,
2-year
so then he
green
got
card.
his green card May 8, 2018. Yeah, so you've been a resident for more than 3 years. If you're in a bona fide marriage with your spouse, file your N-400.
Bhavin Patel on YouTube. I'm a U.S. citizen. I filed for my brother and sister in 2008. USCIS sent me a letter in 2014, but I moved and lost the letter. When I found out, it was too late. What can I do to bring them here?
Gotta start again.
Abraham Parker on YouTube. My I-290B case has been transferred to Vermont Service Center to speed up the process. What do you think is going to happen, and what would be the outcome?
I have no idea what's going to happen on your motion to reopen or appeal.
Andrew Richards on YouTube. I've been deported and I want to come back to the U.S., but I have a 20-year bar. Can a waiver help me?
No.
Wasim Noshin on Facebook. I have a stepson and I'm a green card holder. He's on a B1, B2. Can I adjust the status?
You have a stepson. How old is the stepson?
Let's say.
All right, if the stepson's under 21, you're a U.S. citizen, and the marriage happened between you and the biological parent before the 18th birthday, yes. So marriage before 18th birthday, stepson under 21, stepson in U.S. on tourist visa, whether overstay or not, you're a U.S. citizen. Need all 4.
Adiola Salami on YouTube. I had my interview last June, an I-485 with my husband. Since then, the last update I got in December was fingerprints. What does this mean?
It means they're checking your fingerprints. Hopefully, that's all they require, and they're not going to call you for a second interview.
Olusobo, please, on YouTube. How long does it take for USCIS to make decisions on citizenship interviews? I had my I-751 and N-400 at the same time, but it was stated that my case needs to be reviewed.
Could be 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 1 century, 1,000 years, 10,000 years, 1 million years, Tyrannosaurus Rex sex years.
All right. Audrey Redwood Redwood Lawrence on Facebook. My grandchildren were documentarily qualified at the NVC since November 2020. They're petitioning for the U.S. citizen father. The children are in Jamaica. Is this a normal waiting time?
No, it's not, but because of COVID, it's taking a while. Going back to Mashi, that's why I said it's going to be years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
Gotta have you. If you really want to make the United States your home and you have the opportunity to adjust your status, you have to have your head examined, not to do it that way.
Aki Lon on YouTube. My husband just did his interview for citizenship. I overstayed on my F1. I filled out the I-130. What other documents do I file to get a green card?
Wait on your husband's citizenship and then file an adjustment.
Annette Boyd on YouTube. My brother is separated from his wife of 17 years and would like to know if he'll need any documents or assistance from her to attend his naturalization interview.
No.
Santiago Zele on YouTube. What questions should I expect for my I-485 interview? I'm the stepson of a U.S. citizen.
I don't know anything about your case other than you're a stepson of a U.S. citizen.
And last one, bring abroad to yard, Trudy on Facebook. What does it mean when USCIS says prima facie is being initiated?
It means that you have touched on proving on a VAWA case that you are a person of good moral character, you're in a real marriage, and you were abused. All right, so we're going to discuss, we discuss all the time on the show, how submitting false information on an immigration application can have a serious effect on your case. Our co-host Vanessa Contreras spoke with Spar and Bernstein immigration attorney and partner Shannon LaGuerre Maingrette about the importance of telling the truth during the immigration process and what can be done for people who have committed fraud. Let's watch.
Even the smallest of lies can snowball into big problems. This is definitely the case when applying for a U.S. visa or green card. There are harsh penalties for making false statements on immigration applications, so harsh that a person can be deemed inadmissible under U.S. law. With me today to discuss the importance of telling the truth during your immigration application process is Spar and Bernstein immigration attorney and partner, Shannon LaGuerre Maingrette.
Hi, Vanessa. How are you?
I'm great, girl. I can't wait to get into this. I feel like we have these conversations all the time on the show, and who better to see than you to walk us through this. So first question I have for you, Shannon. Why is lying during an immigration process so detrimental to someone's case?
Well, it's really detrimental because immigration applications are all about credibility. It's whether or not the immigration officer or the judge actually believes what you're saying. And it plays a big role because immigration judges in particular have a wide latitude of discretion. So if they feel that you're lying about something, it certainly can be problematic and quite frankly can be fatal for your case. So it's really, really important to always tell the truth. I tell people a lie is a lie, but sometimes people try to, get around it and they'll be like, well, you know what? I didn't say it. They didn't ask me anything pertaining to it. And I'm like, but still, it's a lie because at that point, it's a lie of omission. There are lies of commission, correct? So that's basically, that you're telling a lie, that's not correct. You know what the truth is, but you are now basically telling and making a statement that is false. So that's a lie of commission. And a lie of omission is what we just talked about, basically, when you sit and you don't say anything and you're misleading the interviewer, the officer, or the judge. And that is also problematic. For example, is that a lot of times people will be in their home country. They're coming in as a child or a single, unmarried son or daughter of a U.S. citizen or green card holder, but they're married. right? But they know if they say they're married, they're going to have to wait much longer. So they just don't say anything to the officer. They understand that they're not supposed to be getting that visa. They just don't say anything, but it comes back to haunt them later on.
What happens when a client doesn't tell you that they lied upon entering the country and you are in a green card interview with them?
It's perturbing overall for everyone involved. A lot of times that has happened to me, and the officers are basically understand that I don't know what's going on. Obviously, my client did explain to me what's going on, and that certainly doesn't look good overall, because now not only are you lying on the application, you're lying to the officer, but clearly they can see that you have lied to your attorney also, right? It also basically, at that point, there are times that I try to stop the interview because I want to basically kind of get a sense of what's going on. Officers are kind enough to basically say, of course, I'll give you a moment with your client counsel, and then I'll be able to go outside and have a conversation like what's going on. Other times, the officers, which is fine, will sit back and say, no, counsel, you can't have a moment. I want to know what's going on. And at that point, basically, a lot of times the client will tell the truth at the interview, and they're ready to take a sworn statement. And that puts me in a position because I can't really represent you zealously because I don't know all the details. I don't know all the truth. And that's really why it becomes a problem. And it's really imperative to speak to your attorney about everything that's going on, because you want them to be able to defend you and to be able to represent you zealously and adequately. And when you don't give them all the information, you're putting the attorney in a situation where they can't do their job.
And USCIS will always find out in the end, right?
Yeah, I mean, so interestingly enough, it's a really great question because there are people who will go through the process, like every step, and have lied their way through, right? So they'll be in their home country and they've given a lie at that point, and they've been able to get their visa and come into the United States. Then they're at a green card interview and they're able to basically get their green card. Ultimately, they end up getting found out, usually at the naturalization interview. So they are very, very thorough. They vet all the applications. Even if you've lied and people then start to feel very confident and are like, okay, I've done this on my own and I'm okay, they will get caught, and at that point will be placed in removal proceedings, and that certainly is not where you want to be.
So what is your advice to anyone who is applying for a green card?
I tell anyone applying for a green card, I think it's really important to speak to an attorney, one that is experienced. And it's not just any attorney, right? Because you can go to any attorney. You want one that's experienced and that has basically experience in immigration law. Immigration law is extremely complex. So if you're doing an immigration application, speak to a qualified immigration attorney, be able to tell them what's going on. These cases can be very complicated, and you want to be able to tell them the truth so they can guide you, and do it before the application is filed. A lot of times people will do the applications on their own because they're like, well, you know what? A lot of people do it on their own. It's just, you're filling out paperwork, but that's not the case. I mean, there's so many little nuances that only an experienced immigration attorney will be able to look into and tell you, no, you're not qualified. And other times they'll be like, you are, but you have to basically do a waiver.
Yeah, you got to leave these things to the professional squad. So make sure you leave this to the professionals. Now, how do you go about remedying the situation when a client has lied on their initial entry form?
Well, a lot of times, basically, if they tell me in advance, we do consultations here all the time. So a lot of prospects will come in, prospective clients, and will come in and say, okay, this is my situation. This is what happened. And what I do is that usually I'll have them do a sworn statement with me, right? So an affidavit, we call it, explaining the situation. So we're actually preparing, okay, beforehand and telling the truth. And it looks good, right? Because at that point, we're letting them know what the issues are. And again, it's a case-by-case basis, but I try to do that sometimes, especially when I know, because like we talked about before, they're going to get found out, right? Because the reality is that they're doing fingerprints. Immigration has access to, whether it's in another country or here in the United States, they have access to it. And so usually I'll be like, they're going to find out, so let's prepare. Do a sworn statement. Other times I understand that a waiver is required. So I understand that there's an inadmissibility issue, whether they've been arrested, whether they basically have committed fraud. And so I'll prepare the waiver, understanding that I will probably have to present it at the interview.
Yeah. And can you tell me about a case you had where the client lied on their application and you were able to still get them their citizenship?
I mean, there's so many, but one that sticks out was because they went all the way to the end, kind of like we were talking about before, came into the country on a visitor's visa. Then at that point, basically, he got married to a U.S. citizen, was able to get his green card. But during that time when they were married, he ended up having a child out of wedlock. Did not advise the officer of that. So when he went in, he did lie, right? So basically he indicated that he did not have a child on the application. Afterwards, he ended up having 2 more children with this particular woman, and him and his wife ultimately broke up, and then he filed for citizenship. So they found out because of the taxes, right? Because on his taxes, he claimed the children on his taxes. So when he went in for citizenship, the office was like, wait a minute, this child was born during the time that you were married. Actually, 2 of the children were born during the time that you were married, and you never advised. At that point, he was placed in immigration court before an immigration judge. He did a motion to terminate because we were able to get the ex-wife to come in and testify about the situation. She was having problems getting pregnant herself. She had gone through fertility treatment. She understood the first one and almost forgave it. And after the second was like, this is ridiculous. And that's how they broke up. But at that point, they were married in good faith. They loved each other. So it wasn't a fraudulent marriage. They loved each other. They ended up having problems. And that's really what the issue is. You want to be able to explain it. There are plausible explanations. There are all kinds of situations that occur in marital relationships and all kinds of relationships. And you want, again, it goes back to credibility. Will they believe you? Does it make sense? And that's really what you're trying to do, because it's a story and you need the judge or the officer to believe you. And so he ultimately ended up, the judge terminated the cases and said like this, that he believed that, unfortunately he had an affair, ends up having 3 children with the mistress, and then wife ultimately leaves, but it was a bona fide marriage. He did receive the green card in good faith, that it was actually done and it was reasonable. And at that time, we filed for citizenship once the judge terminated proceedings and he became a U.S. citizen.
Amazing. And again, telling the truth and leaving this to the professionals. To get in touch with Shannon or any of our other talented attorneys here at Spar and Bernstein, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465.
3 children with the mistress. Woo! Busy guy. Still got his green card.
Yeah. Busy.
All right. Speed round. 10 questions. 50 seconds.
Practice. Yeah. All right.
Okay. We.
What? I'm gonna get countdown. How long does it take to get a spousal interview in Jamaica?
Over 2 years right now.
Is it safe to travel with advanced parole after removal proceedings got dismissed with an I-360 and 485 pin?
Yes.
When do fingerprints? How long? When do you fingerprints? How long is it good for?
Usually forever, because they're electronic now.
How long for visa approval I-130 for unmarried children over 21 and U.S. citizen?
At least 7 years.
When entering the U.S., can a person bring in 10,000 cash?
Less than 10,000.
Can a lawyer help in pushing up the K-1 visa?
You can try to expedite.
If my sister entered legally, can I file for her too?
Yes, but it's going to be 15
Can
years.
a paroled minor voluntarily deport to join her parents outside the U.S.?
Yes.
Can I use a U.S. lawyer to file for a fiancé visa in South America?
Of course.
Is there a path to citizenship with a 2-year-old drug conviction?
We did 10.
No, we didn't.
Well, it was 10.
Why do you do that? I see the numbers here.
Damn. No. Roll it back. All right, go quickly now.
I can't do all that.
I thought that was 10. No, there's no.
It
path
still
to
doesn't matter. You can't stop the clock and do it. You gotta trust that in me.
I didn't stop.
You stopped it.
I don't stop anything. I just we did 10. Whoever's doing the clock needs to say they ain't 10. We're gonna keep going.
No, just keep on answering.
Why are they listening to me? I don't control the clock.
We would have got that.
I don't control the clock. Do you see me with control of the clock? Somebody back there controls the. Why are they listening to me? I should be the last person that they should be listening to. Somebody should know how to count to 10. I don't know how to count to 10. I only know immigration law. I don't know how to count to 10. Nobody listen to me count to 10 ever again.
Damn.
I thought it was 10 in my head.
No, it wasn't.
I don't even know how to count to 10.
It's only 9.
Damn.
We was getting to that 10th. It's all good. Tomorrow.
No,
we're coming for you.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow's Wacky Thursday.
Yes, we're coming for you tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Wacky Thursday. All right, comments of the day. Damn.
All right, first comment of the day comes from Santiago Zalea saying, squat up to the GOAT, Brad.
What does a goat say?
Greatest of all time.
I know, but what does a goat sound?
It's not bad. That's a sheep.
Rah!
Maybe a little bit more aggressive.
Rah!
Rah! I don't know what a goat. They're yummy though. All right, curry goat.
But thank you very much. When I was in the Middle East over Christmas, they told us we were going to go on a very leisurely trip over the mountains to see the goats. So my daughter loves goats. She just likes to pet the goats. So she's like, all right, we're going to go do it. And we came to the mountain, and it was literally straight up this rock. I said, I'm not climbing this mountain to see no goat.
No, absolutely.
But my kids did it.
Really?
They sent me pictures from top of the mountain with the goats.
And that's all.
I said, what was up there at the top of the mountain? They said, goats. I'm sorry I had to stop the entire show for that story, but continue.
All right, and our last comment of the day.
Only 2?
Yeah, but this one's a long one. It's Apple Pie saying, Brad, you're just simply amazing. Daily, I watch the show and witness constantly how much you help people. This is not something you had to do. However, you're here with us giving advice just to make life better for everyone. You're very inspiring and just a wonderful human being. Thank you for all you do. I know you'll always keep up the amazing work.
I really appreciate that. It's
yeah,
Apple
we
Pie.
don't need you don't need a comment after day after that.
I don't know if anybody could top that one.
Yeah, that's why we left that.
That is very sweet. And by the way, I mean, in reality, yes, people see me and they call me, and so certainly it helps the firm. But I mean, there's a lot easier ways to promote a law firm than put on this show.
Course.
So I'm very happy to do it. I'm happy that I help people.
Good.
All right. Thank you all. We will see you tomorrow. It is Wacky Thursday. See you then. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And visit us now at our Connecticut office, 221 Main Street, Suite 501, Hartford, Connecticut. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?